The enchanting beauty of Lachung, Lachen, and Gurudongmar Lake. A detailed exploration. Lachung and Lachen, nestled among snow-capped Himalayan peaks. The twin villages of Lachung and Lachen in North Sikkim are cradled by the mighty Himalayas, where jagged, snow-clad peaks pierce the sky like frozen giants. These remote hamlets, perched at dizzying altitudes, offer some of the most breathtaking landscapes in India. A symphony of peaks. The Kanchenjunga Massif, the third highest mountain in the world, dominates the horizon, its icy slopes gleaming under the sun. Nearby, Mount Sinalku, often called the most beautiful peak in the world, rises with an almost surreal elegance. The Pahunri and Lama Wangdin peaks add to the dramatic panorama, their glaciers feeding the rivers below. The magic of isolation. Lachen and Lachung are gateways to the high Himalayas, yet they remain untouched by mass tourism. The air is crisp, thin, and pure, carrying the scent of pine and the distant roar of waterfalls. The villages themselves are clusters of wooden houses with colorful Buddhist prayer flags fluttering in the wind, a reminder of the deep spiritual connection the locals have with these mountains. A landscape that changes with the seasons. Winter, February, the entire region is blanketed in snow, turning it into a frosty wonderland. Icicles hang from rooftops, and the rivers freeze into intricate patterns. Spring, Marmay, the valleys explode with rhododendrons, primroses, and wildflowers, creating a painter's palette of colors. Monsoon, June, Sep mist swirls around the peaks, and waterfalls gush with renewed vigor. Autumn, October and Ov, the clear skies reveal the sharpest mountain outlines, perfect for photography. Why it feels like heaven. Standing in Lachung or Lachen, you feel like you're at the edge of the world, where nature's raw power and beauty collide. The silence is profound, broken only by the occasional call of a Himalayan monal. Gurudongmar Lake, the sacred turquoise jewel at 17,800 feet. Gurudongmar Lake, one of the highest lakes in the world, is a surreal expanse of turquoise blue water surrounded by barren, rocky mountains and glaciers. Located at 17,800 feet, it is sacred to both Buddhists and Hindus, believed to be blessed by Guru Padmasambhava, Guru Rinpoche. The myth and the miracle. Legend says that when Guru Padmasambhava passed by, the lake was entirely frozen. Touching it with his staff, he left a portion perennially unfrozen, allowing villagers to fetch water even in winter. Devotees believe the lake's waters have healing properties, and many carry a bottle back as a sacred offering. A landscape of extremes. The oxygen levels here are dangerously low, and the winds howl like ghosts. The water is so clear that it mirrors the sky, creating an illusion of infinity. In winter, the lake's edges freeze into crystalline patterns, while the center remains mysteriously liquid. The surrounding glaciers, white, jagged, and ancient, contrast sharply with the lake's vivid blue. The journey to Gurudongmar. Reaching the lake is an adventure in itself. The road from Lachen winds through desolate high-altitude plateaus, where yaks and blue sheep, beryl, roam freely. The final stretch is a bone-rattling ride over rocks and ice, but the sight of the lake makes every bump worth it. Why it feels otherworldly. Standing by Gurudongmar Lake, you feel like you've stepped onto another planet, Mars with a turquoise oasis. The silence is deafening, the air thin, and the beauty so stark it almost hurts. This is a place where nature humbles you. Pine forests, alpine meadows, and gushing rivers. Nature's untamed paradise. Lachung and Lachen are alive with nature's music. The whisper of pine forests, the rush of glacial rivers, and the rustle of wildflowers in alpine meadows. The pine forests, a green cathedral. The Himalayan blue pine and silver fir trees form dense, fragrant forests. Sunlight filters through the needles in golden shafts, creating an almost mystical glow. The air is filled with the scent of resin and damp earth, a natural aromatherapy. Alpine meadows, a carpet of flowers. In summer, The Yumthang and Zero Valley turn into flowering paradises. Primulas, poppies, iris, and over 24 species of rhododendrons bloom in riotous colors. Nomadic Budia herders bring their yaks to graze, adding to the pastoral beauty. The rivers, liquid ice. The Thistha and Lachung rivers are born from glaciers, their waters freezing cold and crystal clear. They carve through valleys with thundering force, creating waterfalls and rapids. In winter, parts of the river freeze into sculptural ice formations. Why it feels like a fairy tale. Walking through these landscapes feels like stepping into a mythical realm. The forests are straight out of Lord of the Rings. The meadows resemble Swiss postcards, and the rivers roar like dragons waking from slumber. Lachung's Misty Vale, a dreamlike Himalayan hamlet. Lachung is often draped in a silvery mist, giving it an ethereal, almost mystical appearance. The fog rolls in from the valleys, wrapping the village in a soft, dreamlike haze, where wooden houses and prayer flags emerge like fragments of a forgotten fairy tale. Why does Lachung look like a dream? Morning mystique. At dawn, the mist swirls like ghostly silk, slowly revealing snow peaks as the sun climbs. Afternoon glow. By midday, the fog lifts slightly, allowing golden sunlight to pierce through, casting long shadows on cobbled paths. Twilight magic. As evening falls, the mist returns, blending with wood smoke from chimneys, creating a scene straight out of a Victorian winter painting. The soundscape of Lachung. The distant chime of monastery bells echoes through the fog. The Lachung River murmurs unseen, its waters hidden beneath the mist. Occasionally, the call of a Himalayan wolf or barking deer breaks the silence. Why it feels like a fantasy. Lachung's ever-present mist transforms it into a living watercolor painting. It feels like a place where time slows down and legends of Yeti sightings and hidden valleys don't seem so far-fetched. Rhododendron blooms, the valley of fire and flowers. Come spring, the hills around Lachung and Lachen ignite in color as rhododendrons burst into bloom. Sikkim has 40-plus species of rhododendrons, and in April-May, the valleys look like they've been dipped in red, pink, and white flames. A botanist's paradise. Scarlet rhododendron, Rhododendron arboreum, the most vibrant, turning entire slopes blood red. Pink and white varieties, delicate blossoms that look like snowflakes caught in time. Alpine wildflowers, blue poppies, primulas, and edelweiss add to the spectacle. Yumthang Valley, the Valley of Flowers of Sikkim, a high-altitude garden where flowers bloom in carpets. Hot springs nearby add steamy contrast to the crisp mountain air. Nomadic yak herders move through the valley, their animals grazing on fresh shoots. Why it feels like a dream. Walking through Yumthang in full bloom is like stepping into heaven's greenhouse. The air is thick with floral perfume, and the mountains stand as silent guardians over this natural masterpiece. Gurudongmar Lake's turquoise waters versus white glaciers, a cosmic contrast. Few sights on Earth are as striking as Gurudongmar Lake's electric blue waters set against the bone-white glaciers surrounding it. The contrast is so sharp it looks photoshopped, but it's 100% real. The science behind the color. Glacial flower. Meltwater carries ultra-fine rock particles that refract light, creating the turquoise glow. Altitude effect. At 17,800 feet, sunlight is brighter, sharper, making colors more vivid. Ice and wind. The lake's surface ripples like liquid metal, while glaciers creak and groan in the distance. The spiritual Lachen's golden sun rises when the Himalayas catch fire. At dawn in Lachen, the first rays of sunlight hit the frozen peaks, turning them into molten gold. The entire sky blazes in oranges, pinks, and purples, while the village below slowly wakes to the warmth. The best sunrise spots. Thanga Valley, a high-altitude plateau where the light explodes over the horizon. Chopta Valley offers uninterrupted views of Kanchenjunga turning pink. Lachen Monastery, watch the sunrise through swirling incense, with monks chanting in the background. Crystal clear mountain streams, the liquid heart of Sikkim. The rivers and streams of Lachung and Lachen are so clear you can see every pebble at the bottom. These are glacial arteries, carrying meltwater from the highest peaks down into the valleys. The music of running water. The Thistha River roars through gorges, its emerald green water churning with power. Smaller streams trickle over smooth stones, creating natural zen gardens. In winter, some streams freeze into ice sculptures, while others flow defiantly beneath the ice. Why these waters feel alive? They are sacred to locals, believed to carry the blessings of mountain gods. Drinking from them is like tasting liquid ice, pure, cold, and exhilarating. At night, under the stars, the water glows faintly, reflecting the Milky Way. Why it feels like magic? These streams are the lifeblood of the Himalayas. They are untamed, wild, and achingly beautiful. A reminder that nature, in its purest form, are night skies, a galaxy unseen by cities. Far from light pollution, Lachung and Lachen offer some of the clearest night skies in India. The Milky Way stretches like a river of diamonds, and shooting stars streak across the blackness. What makes these skies special? Zero light pollution. The nearest city is hours away, leaving the night pristine. High altitude. Thinner air means sharper, brighter stars, constellations and planets. You can see Jupiter's moons, Orion's belt, and the Andromeda galaxy with the naked eye. Best stargazing spots. Gurudongmar Lake. The reflection of stars on the frozen lake is mind-blowing. Yumthang Valley. Open meadows with 360-degree sky views. Lachung Monastery. Meditate under the cosmos with prayer flags whispering in the wind. Why it feels like touching the universe. Looking up at these skies, you realize how small we are. The stars don't just twinkle. They pulse with life, telling stories older than humanity itself.